Hey folks, well welcome to yet another edition of Smarter Money Matters, your exclusive ticket to advanced wealth wisdom that really is hard to find elsewhere. We're talking about family office secrets and the keys to intergenerational wealth, from retirement, asset protection, and smart money strategy to ways to pay less in taxes, expert trust and estate planning input, investments to insurance, and even real estate and business financial planning. We are your passport to more wealth with less hassle and friction. We try to make it entertaining, clear, and to the point. We really try hard to make it fun to get richer with less work and stress. And today's topic is everybody's favorite, the old backdoor Roth contribution, which Super CIP Lou is going to lead us through with the assistance of Anna and me, the wealth doctor Jeff Camarda. And with no further ado, Lou, what exactly is a backdoor Roth conversion? It sounds kind of dirty, but it's actually it's okay, right?
It's not that dirty. It's a smooth trick that.
It's a smooth trick.
It's a smooth trick that a lot of higher income individuals implement. If they're not, you have to be a certain income level to qualify for a Roth contribution, and if you go over that income level, you're not allowed to put money into a Roth.
So if you make too much money, you're not allowed to contribute to a Roth IRA, which is tax-free, which kind of thwarts, our objective of being social workers for the affluent, right?
Correct. So this is a way to go kind of behind that and transfer money into your Roth account.
So how do you do it if it's not allowed? If you make too much money, how do you actually get it in there?
So,
I know some of you know the answer, but please.
You basically, the basis of it is you put money into your traditional IRA account, but you want to make sure that you're putting after-tax money and not claiming.
So I make a non-deductible IRA contribution.
Correct.
And what about how much can I put in there? $7,000?
$7 grand if you're under 50 years old, or you can get an additional $1,000 catch-up if you're over 50. So
and that's regardless of my level of income or the fact that I participate in a qualified plan of work.
So again, you have to make in order to put $7,000 in there, you have to make $7,000 in income.
All right.
At least.
Yeah, sure. So I've got earned income, of at least $8,000 if I'm over 50, and sadly I am.
Yeah.
Then regardless of, it could be $1 million of earned income.
Yes.
And I could have a 401k and a pension and all kinds of stuff. I could still make a non-deductible IRA contribution, right?
Correct.
So far so good. Okay, good. Then what happens?
Well, then you take that money and you move it over, you journal it over, you convert it over into your Roth account. So you have to have both accounts, and you basically, again, you put the money.
So I open a Roth account with zero.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And you can have, if you have an existing Roth, you can use that account to move to journal money into it. You just have to be two separate accounts to start with.
Right. So it can be existing Roth, it doesn't matter, but I've got to have a separate account. I can't use the one that I made the contribution to.
Correct.
Okay.
Now the big catch.
Keep it up with the so far.
Yes.
It's complicated stuff. Okay, good.
Yeah. Now the catch, the big catch is that if this is not for everyone, and here's why. If you have an existing IRA account, especially if it's an IRA with pre-tax money in it, right? So if you already took deduction against this money, then you may not get the full benefit of this conversion. So
even if I'm making a fresh contribution to non-deductible segregated IRA?
Correct.
Okay.
It's called pro-rata. It's prorated, right? So it gets it kind of gets commingled. The after-tax money gets commingled with the pre-tax money.
Even if they're separate accounts?
Well, yes. The IRS looks at your IRAs. No matter, you can have.
As kind of like an omnibus.
Correct. So it's a unit. Even if you have SEP IRAs, simple or regular IRAs, they're all in the IRS.
So let's break it down. Say I've got $100,000 in my regular IRA, and I make, just to round up to even number, $10,000 non-deductible.
Well, let's use a simpler example. Let's say you have $93,000 in your regular IRA, and you add $7,000, right, to get it up to $100,000. So if you move that entire balance into a Roth, in that case, it's 93% because it's pre-tax would be taxable.
But am I forced to do the whole $100,000? Can I selectively just do the $7,000?
You could, but then the 93%.
But 93% of the $7,000 converted is going to be taxable.
Correct.
Okay.
You got it.
Which is not a whole lot different than just convert. Can I just convert the 93 and pay the tax on it to Roth?
You could, but if you don't want to pay taxes on it.
So what's the advantage of the backdoor Roth? It's really going to be selective. That doesn't apply to 401ks or qualified money, just IRA balance.
Correct. So you know, the workaround is if you do have an existing IRA, and again, if you're in the situation that this makes sense for you to do, you can transfer the current balance of your IRA. You know, thinking that if you still have a 401k, you know, an active 401k, you can transfer the IRA into the 401k and then do a new contribution for this year.
For plans that permit it.
For
Okay,
plans
so there's a lot of shells moving around the table now, and you may want to have, because you expert guidance to make sure you don't screw it up and get some onerous tax penalties. But the basic premise, if I'm employed to have a 401k and my plan permits me to move IRA balances to 401k, basically you want to zero out the taxable component of the IRA so that all that's left is the non-deductible contribution.
Correct.
And if you do that, then the magic happens. I get the $93,000 goes into my 401k for a little while, for a long while, whatever. All that's left is a $7,000 non-deductible contribution, which will not be taxable if I convert it. And now I can convert that into the Roth IRA, right?
You got it.
Is there any seasoning period? How long before I snatch out the money back out of the 401k?
Well, there isn't. You can, I mean, I would, you know, probably wait a couple days for, you know, just to make sure that's notified that a transaction takes place, but there's no waiting period on that.
They sure make you jump through a lot of hoops to get the right tax result, don't they? But again, it's really, you know, an example of understanding the tax code, which is incredibly complicated and conflicted. But if you have enough knowledge to really be able to navigate the hurdles, you can get some pretty remarkable results.
Sure.
Which is why I call tax the master wealth skill, because if you figure it out, you can literally convert, we can pull money out of the air.
Yeah. And 7,000 doesn't seem like a lot of money, you know, but if you do this year after year after year, you know, it adds up over time.
Now, Anna hasn't said very much about this. Is this something that, you know, you're just kind of in principle, you know, against, Anna, or?
No, I think it's a great opportunity, and I'll piggyback on what Lou was saying. 7,000 a year doesn't seem like a lot. Well, what if we're talking about spouses, right? Then that's another 14,000. It's a good way to make sure that you're making those contributions into a Roth, especially if it's a year where you make too much money to make it directly. And again, the whole point of a Roth IRA is that future growth is tax-free. So again, it seems like we're jumping through a lot of hoops, but if in a client scenario where it makes a lot of sense, it can be a huge, huge impact later down the road.
And we're having some fun with this, but it really isn't that complicated. The steps are, so long as you know what you're doing, you do it properly, you know, it's straightforward.
Don't try this at home, just kidding.
And also, you know, if you're a young professional, you know, such as Anna is, or to a lesser extent Lou, you know, and have a long series of $7,000 or $14,000 contributions, it can add up to millions, really, plus the growth.
Yeah.
Tax-free. It's a good place to be.
Absolutely.
Any parting thoughts there, Super CFPs?
Yeah, no, again, it's not for everyone. It doesn't match everyone's situation. Talk to us, talk to your financial advisors if this is something that you know, may be beneficial for your situation. And but you know, if you do qualify, then it's a great tool.
Good. Last word, Anna?
Yeah, I mean, again, the more money that we can get for our clients into those Roth accounts, again, that's future compounding growth that's tax-free. So I think that's, you know, the most important point of emphasis there too.
Yeah. Which is our prime mission here at Camarda. Remember, always striving to stay richer and live freer, which we actually feel so strongly about. We had it trademarked with U.S. Patent Office. That's it for this week. Next week we'll be really dialing, probably the next few weeks, talking about the mechanics of Roth conversions. Because back to your example with the 93%, sometimes it makes sense to do that. If you're able to get that money at cheap, you know, at a low enough tax rate, you probably want to do it all day long. And we'll talk about how you can structure your taxes to give you a better chance of tax arbitrage and cheap Roth conversions.
And
but
it's different. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's different. Backdoor Roth contribution versus a Roth conversion. It's two different strategies.
Absolutely.
Just to put that out there.
So that day, no, just go back and watch this again if that's not clear in your mind. Next week we will talk about strictly Roth conversions, on which you will pay some tax, and the objective is to pay at a zero or very low tax bracket and get out of a taxable environment into a no-tax environment. Well, the waters are muddy enough for this week, so with that, we'll bid you all goodbye and catch up next week. Thanks so much for watching. Share this with your friends. Hopefully you like it. Bye-bye.